Before we begin the episode, I would like to thank our sponsor, Actimet, an athlete wellness and performance monitoring system. Actimet allows players to share their training load, training intensity and highlight issues away from sport, empowering management to help players in a safe, secure and private manner. Players input their performance and wellness data on an easy-to-use mobile app. Actimet is an affordable monitoring system at less than €50 a month and is currently used by county and All-Ireland champions and over 50 soccer academies worldwide. For more information, please visit actimet.com for more. Welcome back to the Sideline Live podcast. You can follow us over on Twitter and Instagram at the Sideline Live. We'd love to hear from you. On episode 84, we learn about what it takes to become world class with Irish senior women's hockey goalkeeper Ayeisha McFerran. Ayeisha is currently playing professionally in Holland in one of the best leagues in the world and was named the 2018 World Cup Goalkeeper of the tournament. I personally took a lot away from this episode, so I hope you enjoy. Hi Ayeisha, thanks a million for joining me on the podcast.
Thanks for having me. It'll be good. Get a little chat, I think.
Before we get into everything, would you mind giving a 30-second elevator pitch to the listeners who might not know who you are?
Oh, brilliant. That's one way to put me on the spot. I am the goalkeeper of the Irish women's hockey team. I currently play my trade over in Holland at SV Kampong. Been here, 2.5 years now. Been fortunate to kind of travel here, there and everywhere. And yeah, who knows? Feel like I've got a bit of crack going about me, but that's about it.
Good stuff. Why hockey? Who got you involved in the sport and who brought you down first?
I was one of those kids where I was bouncing off the wall whenever I was younger. So it was any chance possible. I think my mom just wanted me shipped out of the house, burn off some energy. So yeah, from when I was no age, I was doing every sport, like gymnastics, football, Irish dancing, swimming, like you name it, I did it, or at least I tried it. Most of them I took sport very seriously. So then, hockey was the one that just ended up sticking after a while. Like it got to a point where I kind of had to pick between football, athletics and hockey. And I think because I had most of my success early, I was like, okay, let's just do hockey.
Okay.
And yeah, I went from there.
And why goalkeeping? Did you originally start as a goalkeeper? How did that transition happen?
No, I played field like everyone. Yeah, every kid starts as a field player whenever they're younger. And then because I played football, my coach in school, she came in and said something, but like I didn't know what it was. So I was like, oh, pick me. I want to do it. Like typical kid, like I want to do everything. And it was just starting goals. So
you didn't know what you were signing up for.
I had a notion. And then she hands me this huge bag and I'm just like, oh, brilliant. What's this? And then took the whole session trying to figure out how to put it on. And yeah, was never out of them since, but played field alongside for a few years. But in goals always stayed.
So it's nearly by accident then that you ended up as a goalkeeper?
Yeah, pretty much. I think also like playing football kind of helped. My coach had a fair idea of like who out of the school group she wanted to maybe try it.
Yeah.
And I think it maybe helped. One, I like played football, but two, I was also slightly, I wouldn't say crazy, but quite entertaining. We'll say that. That helped. Because most kids, whenever you're 10 or 11, you have a ball hit at you, you run the other way. So I apparently like to just stand there. So, and that's that.
Love it. Who had the biggest influence on you growing up and maybe outside your family and friends? Was there a particular coach or a role model that you had?
I think for me, it probably would have been my school coach she was my PE teacher in school. She was the one who got me into hockey and got me trying everything, and then I ended up playing at club with her and she helped me a lot with like getting to and from training, things like that. So I think without her I probably wouldn't be playing or wouldn't have stuck at it from a young age.
Wow, okay. And you made your senior debut with the Irish senior team when you were in school. What's that like, going from one, not only making your dream come true when you're still in school, but going from a classroom one day to a very high performance environment the next day?
Weird. It's actually right. This is quite a funny story. So initially, like Darren Smith, the head coach at the time, like called my principal to see if it was okay with me missing school. And initially he said no. So my principal's like, no, she's not going. And then my PE teacher, like he obviously spoke with my PE teacher and my coach I was very close with. And so he spoke with her and she was like, if you don't let this girl go, like she will torment you for the rest of her time at the school. Like she will make your life hell. Which I 100% would have, like 100%. So, yeah, I was fortunate that they ultimately ended up letting me go, because it was into my like last year of school, so I had my A levels coming up. So it was the January of that, and it was like all the kind of practice exams. But I wasn't the most academic person, so I was like, yeah, sure, what's a wee trip? It's like what, a week out of school. I'm okay with that. So, yeah, for me, like. Yeah, no, pretty much just because like I wasn't the most academic, so to go from like being away like didn't bother me. Like I was like, oh yeah, school, I'll figure it out whenever I come back. So but then it was weird getting back and like going from a week of like, yeah, turn 18, get my first cap, play with like some people I've looked up to or whatever, and then you're back in your school uniform sitting there in like art trying to be like, okay, what am I doing now? Yeah, so that was a bit weird, but overall it was fine, I think.
What was it like becoming teammates, like you said there, with the girls that you've looked up to from a young age?
Scary.
Okay.
Yeah, like I followed Emma Gray for a long time. And I was always like, yeah, I want to be like her, because she was the goalkeeper, the number one at the time. And I was like, yeah, I want to get to that level. I want to take her spot, blah, blah, blah. Like this is how competitive I was. And I was also living in my own bubble. Yeah. But
love it. Love the confidence.
No, so, yeah. This 18-year-old like waltzing in, like I would say, yeah, no. No, yeah, it was scary. Like for any young or new person to go into that environment is always, you're like, oh my gosh, these are people I've followed or looked up to for a long time, and now I'm here. But they were all like, they were all so nice. Like I remember sitting in the changing room before the game beside Kate Dillon, and she's just like, here, take a photo, like it's your first cap, you have to remember it. And I'm like, you seem like good crack. So it was actually like, they were so lovely and made it so much easier. But you always have that bit of fear going in.
Totally. After school, you went to Louisville. Talk us through deciding to go to the States and that whole process of going over, and not only being with a new team, but you're living in a new country, trying to adjust to a lot of things.
Well, initially, so I'd agreed to go to another school like right after high school. But then it didn't work out, and then I was like, just in Ireland for that national team, to go, like didn't know what to do. So then I took a gap year. And then the assistant coach at the time got back in contact with me again, because I was like, initially he contacted me and I was like, no, he's American, never gonna go, blah blah blah, like see you later, good luck. And then I'd say about 6 weeks later, I was like, hey, I'm thinking about America again. So I emailed him and he was so lovely. He was like, yeah, you've got a spot Louisville. And I actually went like really, really quick. Like they offered me a spot, essentially give him like, a contract and what was going to be involved and everything. And then we're like, right, okay, that's it, done. And then that was everything. So then next I know, start of August of, when was it, 2015? So it was just after the Olympic qualifiers. I popped on a plane and head over to Louisville. No idea what I was getting myself into. The only thing I knew, there was a McDonald's right beside the field. That's all I knew. Because of like other
essential info.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, all you do whenever you're at training, you just smell McDonald's and it's terrible. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm sure it's terrible. Like, love to eat chicken nugget. I did. But so then I'm just like, yeah, over there. And it's weird because like, yes, okay, you're going to a new team. For me, it didn't really, because you're so into it initially at the start. Like it's really, really intense from the get-go. So from August until first week of November, it's just hockey in school. But like school's on the lighter side because you're a freshman coming in. You're only taking, I think, 12 credits or something. So that's 4 classes. And then you have like hockey it was literally a job. And so it was more after the kind of first part of the first season where I really kind of figured out like what it was like in America, like, living there, trying to figure out Louisville and different people and stuff. And so it was weird. Like it was, you had girls from all over America with everyone coming from different backgrounds, but then you also had other foreigners who also come from completely different backgrounds. So like my group, I think we started with 9. And then by the time we got to graduation, one girl graduated in early, like the December of our senior year, and then there was 3 of us left. So we go from like 9 and finish with 3. Yeah, so it's really weird. It's a hard thing to explain, because I like my first year, like, yeah, going anywhere for a year is difficult. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna, not for me. I want to go back to Europe. I want to play hockey there, and try and make it over in Europe. And then I figured out that I was like, okay, that's not smart. I need to have something, a piece of paper to say I can do something if hockey doesn't work out. And so then I ended up staying the 4 years, which I to this day do not regret at all.
Brilliant. And what was the motive? Like you mentioned there, you kind of realised, okay, I need to get this piece of paper behind me. Was that your own thinking, or was there someone encouraging you to have that backup plan?
No, very much not my own thinking. I was like, yeah, screw this, I'm away, blah, blah, blah. And so I had already told the coach that like I was considering leaving, but I hadn't fully decided yet. And so I was still obviously training because I had the national stuff. So I was in using the gym facilities, and I go into the S&C coach and I'm like, oh, hey, can you help me with the program for today? And she's like, why would I do that? You're not going to stay here. And I was like, oh God. And so initially it was met with like, whenever I asked her to help me, it was met with like real, not aggression, but like a real directness of, no, like, you're not investing your time here, so I'm not going to invest in you. And then it actually turned out to be still to this day, one of the best chats I've ever had in my life with someone. Like, I sat with her for an hour and a half and like just looked at all my options. She's one of those people, she's just very realistic with everything and will always want the best for you. And if she can help, she will. And if she can't, she'll help you find people who can. And so we sat literally just talking about stuff like why I was feeling like this, what I seen of the benefits of staying, of going to play in Europe, of maybe going to study in England or wherever, or staying in America. And she really like we wrote it out on a whiteboard and everything. Like it was really, really in depth. And then it was after that I was like, okay, shit, like I'm in a really good position here. Like I can get a free education. Okay, yeah, the hockey's not the best level, but like it's up to me what I make of it. And I'm able to travel America, see different people, meet different people, whatever. And she just made it very clear. Oh, sorry, that was just my dog.
She's getting a feature. She wants to get on.
Yeah, I know. But no, she just made it very clear on the possibilities of staying here and what it actually meant. And so then from that, that was kind of like, okay, yeah, I think I'm going to stay.
Wow. Okay, because it's interesting when I've interviewed a lot of people, there's a couple of people that play a big part in everyone's journey, and I get the sense that was a really pivotal moment for you. Of you're kind of like, it was kind of like you were taking ownership, like you said there. Yes, maybe not. It's not at the level I wanted to be, but I can make it. I can make it my opportunity. I can take these other opportunities with education, with travel, with everything else.
Yeah, definitely. And I think for me, if I genuinely do feel if I didn't speak to her, then I 100% would have been back in Europe, and I don't know what I would have done.
Wow.
Like, okay, yeah, maybe I would have got a club somewhere. Like now I'm playing in the best league in the world at one of the top clubs. But if I'd have went back, I probably would have went to Belgium and not played somewhere, of quality or whatever. So she just made me really realize just the benefits of what I could achieve if I wanted.
Totally. You were named a 3-time All-American over there. How did you end up kind of with the lasting couple of years? How did you make the most of your experience?
My first year, I was really selfish. I was like, I didn't really know about all the All-American stuff my first year. And then I got nominated on All-American third team my first year. And I was like, oh shit, this is really cool. But I was really selfish about it. And then after that, I was kind of like, shit, no, like I can help so many other people here because I come with quite a lot of experience. I played a lot of international games and stuff at that point. And I think for me, that's what I really enjoyed most, was trying to, just help new freshmen coming through and stuff. Yeah, I had a very direct and tough way with it. But then as you get older, you kind of learn different ways. Because I just feel that like it's very easy in that environment to be just focused on yourself. It's tough. Like there's no denying it. It's really tough. Like the structure of everything. It's like you're up at 7 a.m. You're training for 3 hours and you have to go to class all day, and then you have to do your schoolwork, and then you have to do the exact same the next day. So like it is a grind. I hate saying that, but like it is. It's like the same thing. It's a real process to get through. And if you're really selfish about it, like when it is tough, you're not going to have other people to help you get through it. So then I kind of figured that out. It's like I learned that very, very quickly, that if I just don't try and connect with others, and it's going to make my life a lot more difficult. And then once you kind of realize about trying to help others and see different ways of playing and things, it makes it easier getting through it.
Yeah.
And I think that helps.
And when you're over there, is it like, obviously there's a really strict schedule and it is a business, and I know a lot of the basketball players who go over and they were telling me, oh my god, it's just incredible, the schedule. Is that more physically or mentally draining, do you think?
Both.
Okay.
Both. The physical aspect, you expect that if you're trying to play your sport at a high level or take that next step, there's always going to be the physical aspect.
Absolutely.
But I think especially in Ireland, we don't, like with our sport, unless you're playing like county, even some county levels, but like the higher levels, you don't actually realize the mental aspect it has on you. And that's just with even just trying to combine your sport with like your daily lives, but also trying to manage with inside your sport, which is really, really difficult. You have pressures from yourself, you have pressures from your teammates, from your family, from the coach, you have to perform, but then you also get the outside pressures of like media and things like that. And it's the same over there. Like they're ruthless.
Yeah.
And obviously it depends what school and what level you go to, but like there's always people there making comments for you to try and perform and everything, and you just want to bring your best that you can.
Mm-hmm.
And there's days when you do have off days, like that's normal, that's life.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's trying to manage, okay, yeah, just accept it, it's an off day, I'm gonna keep going, I'm gonna keep trying. But then you always have that like little demon in you that wants you to just quit, just throw your stick in the shed and just walk out. Some days are really considered it. But like it's trying to fight through that and persevere and being able to balance everything and still trying to keep that top level with everyone. Mm-hmm. It really is a mental challenge also.
What strategies have you developed in terms of coping with that, and what do you do now to deal with, like you mentioned there, all the pressure that comes with it? It seems like a lot, but you seem to really manage that very well.
For me, it's I know my trades. I know what I'm good at. I know what I need to improve. And little Joe down the road sitting on his keyboard telling me that I should have saved something is not going to add anything to me. It's not. And it, like, people think there's always the talk about keyboard warriors of how they just sit there and don't do anything, but they don't understand what it's like to be in those positions and have to sometimes carry the weight of your team or whatever on your shoulders. And that's a job that people sign up to do because they want to do it, they're willing to do it, and it's not an easy one to step into. So for me, I'm like, I know I can do it. If other people are complaining or whatever, you give it a go and let me see how you get on. Like, I'm very much like that. I'm like, if you're going to complain, give it a go. Where do you stand? Then you'll figure out how tough it is. So I'm like very, I would say I'm quite dry like that, where I'm like, I don't care. You sit there and you sit on your sofa and you watch TV all day, albeit I watch TV all day too, but I still train sometimes while I'm at it. But so I'm very just like, whatever, and try. And as easy, it's harder said than done, but try and just not let them get in. Like, I have a very good relationship with my goalie coach, Nidge, who understands me very well. So, and he's very good at reading my face, like my face is thing. So if I'm in a mood or if I'm getting frustrated, he's just like, what's going on? And like, he's just very like, so because I have that relationship with him, like, it does also then help because he can help me then manage it a bit more.
Love it. You mentioned there knowing your trade, knowing your strengths and weaknesses. How much self-analysis, I don't even know if that's the right word, but do you do on your game, and you kind of sit down and maybe talk to your coach or just a conversation with yourself and kind of do nearly a SWOT analysis, really?
I'm very critical of myself. Like, I want everything to be perfect. I want to make the perfect save all the time, which I know in sport and in life and in everything to do with the universe is pretty hard to do. So and I'm also such a hockey nerd. So that, like, I've watched hours and hours of video. Like, there's games on today, I'm watching it. Like, I love watching hockey. Like, I really do enjoy it. I love like learning how people do things, different techniques, different saves, whatever. Like, even the field players, I like watching them because I'm like, okay, well, if they're going to start and try doing this skill, then how am I going to react and save that? Things like that. And I would pick things up quite naturally like that. But I would always, every time we play a game, I would always watch my clips back because it's the only way ultimately I'm going to learn, okay, did I do well? Did I not? What can I improve? Things like that. And I always look at, okay, did I save what I was meant to save? So you have like the big bubble around you. That's like your 70%. Like, that's your what should be consistent. You should be saving them. So whenever I look back, I'm like, okay, did I do my job? Did I save them? If not, or if yes, boom, job done. If not, then why? Was I not set? Was there other factors? Was I not paying attention? Things like that. But then if there's other goals, then it's, yeah, some days you have the best game of your life where you make a save on everything that's thrown at you. You do. But then there's other days on, sometimes forwards do score a good goal and you just have to turn around and accept that and give it a clap and just hope for the best. So yeah, it's hard, but you have to watch a lot of video. You kind of learn, what needs to improve, what doesn't, and things from that.
What do you think is your greatest strength then as a goalkeeper?
Oh, Jesus. I think my ability to read the game and organise. Because I have watched so much hockey, like it does allow me to then see the next phase that is probably going to come. And then I can organise in place of that. I think that being able to manage that is probably, my big strength, but any goalkeeper's biggest strength, because you actually then cut down the opportunities, cut down chances, and actually save yourself a lot more work to do, right. Which is better.
And what's your self-talk like during a game? You said that you're very critical of yourself. Is it more negative or positive in terms of, like, in a game, let's say we're playing a game right now and you're looking out on your defence and you're talking to yourself, is it positive or negative?
Always positive. There's no benefit of being negative. Like whenever I was younger, I always used to be like, oh, I should have saved this, blah, blah, blah. But no, like it brings nothing to your game. Like it adds nothing. So I'm always just like, most of the time I'm like, shit. Yeah. Like, okay, then, like I always like go out the goal, take a breath, come back in and then see where I can go. Mm-hmm. But there's no benefit in like, I should have done this, I should have done that, I have to do this, because then you put the pressure on and then that's where you feel like you're getting smaller and smaller in the goal and can't really do anything else.
Mm-hmm. When there's a penalty, I'm always fascinated by, I'm a forward in Gaelic football, so I'm on the other side of you, but in a different sport, obviously. But I'm fascinated by the psychology of a goalkeeper. And can you just take us through, say, for example, in the World Cup series, you were involved in a number of penalty shootouts. Take us through from the moment you know you're going to be in goal for a penalty. What's going through your head? What process do you follow?
So most of the time, like, as soon as I know it's going to go to a shootout, I'm like, right, okay, I need to cool down. Like, that's because 9 times out of 10 I'm probably like overheating, pretty much. And then it's just trying to get calm, because you're always in the game and it's always really tense, and then it's just trying to take a few breaths and get calm. And so it depends. So if my goalie coach is there, then normally I would just go with him and we just go and we just talk about it, like what might happen or whatever. Because most of the teams we play or will like play that go to shootouts, we have video clips of them from before. So I'm able to look at them and see and get a grasp of, okay, who might be doing it, who's going to take one, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses. And then I then try and flip that on me. It's like, okay, if someone's really skillful and want to always like cut, like, keep turning you, how can I deny that and things like that? So then it's trying to play mind games with them. If someone likes going on the reverse hit, I try and take that away with them. So then I'm using my body, my stig. Okay. To not allow them to go in that way. So there's an element of like different mind games in it, but also knowing, okay, I'm good at this. Like, so for me, it's like, I'm quick on my feet. I'm agile. I can get down and up really quickly. So I know that's not an issue. So it's okay. Can I stay with them as long as possible? Because I know the longer I stay with them, the less chance they have to ultimately then score, because it's only 8 seconds. So there's a lot of mind games and stuff in it, but it's comes back to all trying to stay up as long as possible and just keep putting them off.
Mm-hmm. It also comes back to your preparation. I'm fascinated by like what you're saying. Your mindset is really impressive. Do you ever switch off? Can you have an off day, or is it a 365 24-hour all-encompassing mentality?
No. For me, not anyway. I know you have different athletes who say yes. But for me, it's if I'm going 365 days a year, 24/7, it's tiring. Like, it's really, really mentally tiring. So you have to have moments where you can switch off and you can just chill and don't think about it, so that whenever you do come back, you're like really focused on it. Because if you're thinking on something 24/7, it's, you think about every aspect over and over again, and 20 different things about each individual thing. So it's, for me, that it doesn't have a benefit. So I like need times where I can shut off, put hockey away, and just sit on the sofa, whatever, do whatever I want to kind of relax and get away from hockey, so that whenever I do come back into it, I'm really fresh, refreshed, focused on what I have to do or what needs to be done or things like that.
Brilliant. You mentioned the mind games there. I had a really good question in from Roisin Murphy. She wanted to know, how do you prepare mentally for games, and how do you balance the preparation in terms of being in a team environment? How does it work trying to prepare as an individual and as a team in an environment like that?
That's this is where I would say goalkeepers need to be a little selfish. Because field players, they get 20, 40, 50 touches of a game. They are involved instantly, but goalkeepers, you might only get one touch a game and it's right in the 59th minute and you have to make that save. So it's very individual in what you need to do. For me, I'm like, I play my best when I have like a little bit of anger, but chilled. So most of the time, like before the games, I'm like always messing about with the girls, like playing music, whatever, or having a laugh in the locker room. But then as soon as I go out onto the field to start warming up, I'm like, boom, like game time. Like I have to have a little bit of kind of, controlled aggression, and almost like a hate, because I hate getting conceded on. I hate it. It's the worst thing ever. So once I have that kind of controlled aggression, but like with the joy, then I know like, okay, I'm in the zone. This is my like focus area. This is where I know I'm going to do well. But then if I get too, say, angry about it, then I get really rigid. Like kicks become really like forced, and it's just not free flowing and things like that. So it's trying to find the balance going into each game and just staying chill, but having a real focus about what I do.
What do you do when you realise that you're going too overboard one way or the other? Can you realise that, and how do you pull yourself back into the zone?
Like I can normally feel it more than anything. It's like the way I move or whatever, and most people off me can see it well, especially my goalie coach will see it, how if I am getting really rigid or like really trying to say kick a ball to the halfway line or whatever, that's whenever I'm trying to force it. So then I normally take myself out the goal and just go for a walk. And so then it got to the point, maybe the last couple of years, where like in my warm-ups, like I don't need to do everything. I don't need to like face every shot, face every corner, whatever it is. So that's where I'm really lucky to have a really good second goalie in Lizzie Murphy, where she can come in and she really helps me, because she's like, yeah, take whatever you want, I'll do the rest. And so she's really, really good at that. And she also knows me as like really well also. And so when she sees I'm getting frustrated and stuff, she then jumps in the goal, and then I just take myself off for a wee walk to the side and then come back in.
Brilliant. I want to talk about the World Cup. You went in as the second lowest ranked team. Can you give us a bit of an insight into what, like, as a group, I'd say, like, talk about self-belief, but as a group, what was your goal going into the tournament, and how did that develop throughout all of the games?
We, as a group, we knew we could do better than where we were ranked. We 100% believed that. Like we knew we knew we were a talented group. We had good players. We were able to connect well with each other. We're like, there's no way we're the second lowest ranked team here. So we were like, right, okay, our goal is to get out of the group. Like that was it. Okay, so we were like, start on this, and then we'll see where it goes from there. So we were very focused on just like enjoy. Like it was our first time at any big tournaments. We're like, okay, let's just enjoy it, see what comes. We knew we were better than USA. We knew we could get a result out of India, and we're like, okay, if we do this, then we're in a really good position. So that was our focus going in. And then from there, each game we were like, right, okay, let's just see what this is now. And then we got to the semi-final against Spain, and we're like, okay, this is our final. Like, who cares what happens after this? This is our final. Everything goes on the field here. And then I think it pretty much did. I think we were pretty busted the next day, like. But overall, we were just trying to enjoy the moment. Like, I think again, that's the biggest thing with our group, is we love having fun, and when we have fun, we play well, because we know we have the talented players to do it. So there's a real kind of just go enjoy the moment, take the processes that we've done before and bring it with us, but we just had to enjoy it and do it.
Love it. What was your favourite moment in the tournament, whether it was on or off or away from the pitch and with the team, or what stood out for you?
For me, 100%, like anytime I think back on it, is going out of the tunnel and like in the final. like phenomenal. Like we were running out beside the Dutch, who like, again, being the biggest hockey nerd in the world, I'm like, oh my god, it's the Dutch. I could almost reach out and touch them. Like it was one of those moments, like. So it was very surreal. And then when you go out of the tunnel, because it's like dark, you can't see outside, you just see the light obviously coming in. So we're going out, and then next thing we just hear is this eruption of green everywhere. Like it was amazing. And even the Dutch fans were like, or the Dutch players were like, whoa, like they've never played in front of anything like that. Like it genuinely felt that we were playing in the center of Dublin in the Aviva or something, and it was just phenomenal. Like I think that's what made the World Cup. Like, okay, yeah, playing and everything was class, but the fans were just phenomenal with that one.
What's your nerves like before a game? Whether it's like, I know you treated that semi-final as the final. Do you get really nervous before a game? Are you kind of just chilling out? Or how are you the night before or and a couple of hours before?
I'm normally quite chill. I'm normally quite a whatever. We'll see how it goes sort of person. But like, of course, there's going to be nerves, and I think that's a good thing. Is trying to manage and maintain them, because it means you value what you're doing. If you don't have nerves, then it's kind of like, okay, well, why are you doing that? If you don't get that little like butterfly in your stomach sort of feeling, but it's trying to manage that where you're not shaking as you're running out. So that's, yeah, for me it was like we all were just like, geez, this is the World Cup final, like let's just go and have a laugh. Like sometimes it did get a little frustrating during the game, that's another story, but like overall, yeah, it was just, we're like, this is history, like let's just go and see how this goes.
You were part of history as a team. Individually, you were named goalkeeper of the tournament. You saved 3 penalties versus India and 4 versus Spain. How big of an achievement is that for you? For all of those years, you put in the work, the sacrifice, the effort. How big was that achievement for you?
Yeah, it's still probably to this day something I'm very, very proud of. It's like not something that I would ever go out and look to achieve, and I would never achieve anything without, at the time it was that like Grace was an absolute rock to me. Like she is such a talented goalkeeper as well, but just a real genuine person who just wanted the best for me and the team and everyone. And she did a massive, massive role in being the number 2 for me that tournament. Like, yeah, I think, yeah, without her, just my performances wouldn't have happened. Same with Nidge, like both of them, like that was for the 3 of us. That wasn't just for me alone, because they are just huge, huge, huge parts of my journey. And like, yeah, without them, I would have been lost. But yeah, it's something that I'm very proud of, to kind of, yeah, it just kind of confirms that everything that I've kind of sacrificed and did and made effort to do, it's like, okay, like it's worked. It makes sense that this is why I'm doing it. This is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. When I've talked to a lot of athletes, they talk about the sacrifice and the hard work and the effort. Do you think it requires everything that you've given up, or could you have maybe relaxed a little bit more, but to get to where you've gotten? Or do you think that's just part of the deal? This is what you do to get to that level.
I think for everyone it's different. Everyone has their own support network. Everyone has this, that, and the other. I came through quite a tough upbringing. I had to get myself places. I had to figure out how to get to Dublin, had to take trains, had to take buses up 5, 6 in the morning. Like for me, but that was what I was willing to do. And it's one of those things, if you want to make it, and if it's unfortunately part of your reality, then you will sacrifice and do what you need to do to get there. Mm-hmm. I think it's different for everyone. Everyone has their own story. Everyone has their own, support network that's going to help them get there. But yeah, would I change it? No. It's made me kind of not just a hockey player, but it's the genuine part of my personality and who I am, because I know I've had to fight for everything, and it makes you appreciate it more when you do achieve it, because otherwise, you're just handed it on a silver spoon, and that's the easy way.
Brilliant. I'm going to move forward slightly to the Olympics. What was it like? Obviously, COVID hit and the games were postponed. What was it like during that period of time before it was, say, postponed, and there was a lot of things up in the air? The world was kind of upside down, trying to keep motivated. And when the games were eventually postponed, what was that like?
It's weird. It's a mixed bag, because it's like, obviously it's, the Olympics is everything for every athlete. Then obviously COVID happens. You don't know, is it going to happen? Is it not? Maybe it will, maybe next year, maybe like it's just cancelled. So that was hard. Like those conversations and all the media and everything was hard. So But ultimately, I knew it was going to be either cancelled or postponed, just because of everything. Like, the health of the world is way more important than a sporting event. But for me, I was in a really, really tough point with my hockey. Like, I wasn't enjoying it. It felt like a chore. I had to travel quite a lot back and forth to Ireland every week for training, and it got to a point where it's just like, why am I doing this? And so I think the best thing for me was actually it not happening that year, because it gave me time to actually refresh, and like, because I was having a really bad time with my club also. And so then it was just like, okay, it just felt all this negative stuff on top of each other. But then to actually have the control of it, okay, I know a decision is made, it's next year, okay, let's move on from that, because it was just kind of dragging me all down. I didn't really want to play, so it kind of gave me the break that I needed before actually starting again and trying to get motivated again.
Mm-hmm. What's it like going through that stage where you kind of fall out of love with the sport that you've grown up playing, training, you've sacrificed everything, you love it? Is it difficult to kind of realise that, oh, not only you're not enjoying it, but you're like, I put my life into this and I'm not enjoying it, what's the point?
Yeah, it's hard. And there's a lot of questions, because you're like, yeah, you have sponsors, you have people who backed you, you have my living was on it as well, because I was over playing here in Holland. And so it's like, it's not just, okay, am I doing this for enjoyment, blah, 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 but it's a real like life decision. Like, if I stop playing, what am I going to do? Do you know what I mean? Like, those questions also like coming about. And so it is really, really hard. Like, because like, for me, I'm very much like, I want to help other people. I want to do it for other people. Yes, of course, I will always do it for myself ultimately, but I don't want to let those people down who have helped me along the way, big, small, whatever they've all had an input in getting me to where I am. So it's hard whenever you're thinking about it. You're like, okay, I'm making this really selfish decision because I don't enjoy it, but all those people didn't enjoy like getting up at 6 a.m. to drive me here or drop me there or whatever, and things like this. So it is hard, but then it's kind of like, once you realize it's like, okay, I'm just taking a pause. I'm not saying goodbye. I'm not quitting, whatever. I'm just taking a pause for now, and then I know I ultimately will come back into it. And that kind of made it easier whenever I flipped it that way. Like, it wasn't goodbye, it's all see you in a bit.
Mm-hmm. What's the hardest part of being a professional athlete?
Oh, Jesus. Not enough hours of sleep. Honestly, like, I like my sleep a lot. No, I think, yeah, that's a big one. Love my sleep. But it's trying to stay organized and still give yourself time, because you're always told you have to go to training, you have to do your stretches, you have to see physio, you have to do this, you have to watch blah, 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 blah. But then if you're doing all this, where's you time? Do you know what I mean? And so for me, I very much like, I need my separate time to do other things. I can't just all focus on being an athlete. I love it. I love it to death. I do. But it's like everything. If you love if any person loves something to death, if you do it 24/7 or whatever, then you're like, why on earth I love this? I bloody hate it at this point. Do you know what I mean? So
Totally.
For me, it's definitely, I think it's trying to find that balance is really important. And for me, it's so key, because if I don't, then I show up to training and everyone's like, oh God, I just hear she's in a grump. I can tell by their faces as I'm walking into training, they know, and they're like, don't talk Ayeisha, don't talk Ayeisha, don't talk there. They're like all walking and dispersing. But yeah, I think that's the hardest thing, because you don't want to let those other people down, and you know you need to do all that like stuff to be the athlete, but you also, for me, I need my time to just chill, relax, breathe, and be a normal human.
Because I was going to ask you about the phrase, do what you love and you never work a day in your life. What would be your interpretation of that?
Yeah, again, I think it's having the balance, and I think it's what I do. Like, I love hockey, like straight up. Like, I'm like A to Z hockey nerd. Like, yeah, if there was a class on it, I think that's what I would do quite okay in. But it's, again, having the balance in that. Because no matter how much anyone says they love something, yeah, like I said, if they do it all the time, I think you'll fall out of love quite quickly. But yeah, it's having the balance with that, and I very much feel that, yeah, that's what I do.
What habits and routines do you have away from playing and training that you attribute your ability to? Is there anything that just stands out? You say, geez, that's really helping me as an athlete in either my physical or mental capacity?
Physically, I think it's all part of my structure. Like I have my structures are key. I like everything organized. I like to know when I have to go to the gym, when I have to do this. So when things change and like it stresses me. So I really like having my structures. But I think mentally, I know if I don't have my away from the sports, that's whenever I really struggle. So when it does feel like it's becoming a chore, it's because I haven't taken the time for myself. And I think that's a really hard thing, because you have to be selfish in that way. And all elite top athletes are selfish. They have to be. If an athlete isn't selfish, they're never going to make it to that top level.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost being like a 100-meter sprinter being like, oh no, it's okay, you can win today, maybe I'll win tomorrow. Like things like that, but no, it doesn't work like that. If you want to be the top of the top, or that elite, or that top 10% or whatever, you have to be selfish. You make decisions for yourself on how to get there. And everyone has their own way of doing it. Everyone has their own needs, whatever. But ultimately, it does come down to being a little bit selfish to get yourself there.
Mm-hmm. When you're surrounded by elite level players in the Irish team, you're in the best league in the world, you're world class, what are the common traits or characteristics that you see from those around you that you just say, this is the difference maker between us being here and us being here?
There's like physically, anyone can be an elite athlete on physical level. Anyone. Like, it's just by getting your body into peak condition to perform. But there's a mental aspect that not everyone can flip into. And I think that's the big thing. It's you're choosing to do something which ultimately, will bring physical pain. It'll bring mental hardship. It will bring demands of yourself as a person that you may never have seen, expected, or felt before, but you're willing to do it. And it's where you're taking that step. That's the step between average Joe in the gym who's getting really strong and really fit for his runs of the week, and jumping into that elite international level. It's you're a question of yourself as a person to make that step. And I think that's what tells the difference between a real top, like, elite sports person and a really good one. A top one makes that step, and just a really good one will almost do it, but not quite.
So you're telling me you have to be a bit mad then, is it?
I would say it helps, to be honest. When you're told you have to get up at 6 a.m. to be on the field for 7, there has to be something a bit mad in you you'd like to do that.
Yeah, totally. And when you're going through that tough session and that getting up early, what keeps you going? What do you think of?
Remembering why you're doing it. Like, have your goal in the end that you want to achieve. And for me and for the girls, it was making the Olympics. And not just going there, it was trying to perform there. And so that was our goal. That was why we had those terrible sessions in Abbottstown, in sideways winds and rain and hail and sleet and every aspect of Irish weather that was thrown at you. But we still got through it, and we found something out of that session that was a positive that we can learn from, or whatever, because we ultimately knew getting to the Olympics was our goal. And that's why we were doing it. That's why we're there, because 1, we wanted to achieve and get to the Olympics, but 2, we also love doing it. And that's, for us, that's why we did it.
And for you individually, what's your why? What's your purpose to why you play?
Because I can. Not everyone gets the opportunity to be where I am, and I love it. And so if it gets to a point where I don't love it or whatever, I will stop. I won't put myself through it, because I'm not going to sacrifice my enjoyment just to do something.
Brilliant. I want to talk about the Olympics. What's it like going over and travelling to Japan? I know you had was it an 8 or a 12-hour bus ride at one stage?
Oh, stop that cattle bus. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, don't even. Okay, so the first flight, we had business class.
Oh, lovely.
We were like, on the first flight, we were like, oh my gosh, this is lush, blah, blah, blah. And then the air hostess was like, no, don't get excited about this. Wait until the next one. Boy, was it an improvement. Emirates, like from Dubai to Tokyo. But I could live in the plane. It was phenomenal. And so I was in a pod with Sarah Hawkshaw. So we had one of the like cabins which like we had a divider in the middle so we could like put it down and then lay our seats down and have like a double bed.
Oh,
so,
wow.
like, honestly, that was amazing. Then it went very drastically downhill and very back to Irish hockey reality because we had a training camp up in Iwate, which is right in the north of the country. Like think like Cork to Portrush, like north. And so initially we were going to take the bullet train there, which is 2 hours. You get on it, boom, sit. Perfect. You know, like normal.
Yeah.
Obviously with COVID, that wasn't possible. So we had to, we called it a cattle bus. So we sat on this bus. So the bus, bear in mind, right, Japanese people are naturally a little bit smaller in frame than Irish people. Like some of us are thick girls. You know what? That's okay. These seats, geez, you could barely fit 2 bum cheeks in it because you're literally like sitting in it. And then it gets worse. You had this like curtain thing going around you. So this is the only way we could like eat because we had these curtain things that like sectioned everyone off. Don't know, but anyway, COVID rules. And so it was like, imagine in like a farm and you have all the chains dangling. That's what it felt like. I felt like I was a cow going to slaughter because I was sitting in this, but it was absolutely horrific. 8 hours through the night, didn't sleep a wink.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Did anyone sleep?
Oh yeah, you have some people who like pop sleeping tablets. You have others who can just sleep in any sort of position, which I am gratefully jealous of. But no, most of us, I think you could just see lights on somewhere because everyone's just like, what on earth is this?
So it kind of set you up for a bit of failure there, giving you like first class, business class, and then the cattle bus.
Oh, jeez, it's like honestly scarred. I will never look at a bus the same because I'll just think of the cattle bus and going up to Iwate.
What's the buzz in the camp like when you get to the training camp, when you get to train, when you realise, like at what point does it hit you that you're at the Olympics?
It wasn't really until we actually got to the village because obviously we go in training camps before. We always have those like the welcome ceremonies into towns and stuff, or like the host village or whatever, like we'll do stuff for you. Like we've had it in Spain, we've had it in Chile, like we've had it in different locations. So it was just felt like you're away on a trip. Like it was but like the host town Iwate were amazing. So lovely. Like the way the training was, or the facility, so it was like a hockey pitch, like it was almost in a forest. It was like
wow,
a big, essentially like a mountain, right? And a hockey pitch was there, and then there was like big walls, and then the walls were just full of people watching training, like hundreds of people came every time to watch training. Like it was so sweet. We met the mayor, we planted a tree for like some welcoming thing. That lovely experience. And then so we were there for a week, I think, and just doing our normal training, running through drills, whatever. But it wasn't actually until we got to the Olympic Village we were like, this is a thing. Like we're not just on any old training trip here. Like we're at the big one. We're at the Olympics. So yeah, it was whenever we went in, got all our bags scanned, got our passes, and then actually got on this bus to like go to our accommodation. We're like, what? We're like driving through the village and we're just like, no, like this isn't real. Like it was a bit mad. But yeah, it was the switch from being in Iwate to actually going into the village was just, it just hits you all of a sudden. You're like, whoa, this is here.
What's the buzz like? I thought there was a great video. I think Jack was it you that were playing volleyball or no? Down in the ground, and he was filming for, I don't know what story it was. It's really high and it was just class. Like, was it cool? I know COVID probably hindered a little bit, but kind of interacting with the other athletes. I saw there was this lovely thing every time an Irish person won a medal, you would do the guard of honour. What was that like?
Really cool. Like again, everyone there is pretty into sports. Like you can't not be at the Olympics and not have an interest in any other sport. So we were quite central in the village. We were kind of lucky. So we had balconies looking both sides. So we had the dining hall literally 50 meters away.
Oh, like, unreal.
Literally. So you've seen people all the time going in and out. So you're just there like looking at the distance because obviously you can't go up and like speak to people and stuff because eventually COVID did get into the village. But you're just there from like 5 meters away. Oh my gosh, that's such and such. That's like really, really funny. It was, so that was it was really surreal because we're so used to seeing all these people on TV, well, winning all these tournaments or whatever, and then now you're just walking among them. You're like, all right, this is all right.
Yeah, I'm one of these.
This.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the rings. I can say I did it.
What was the biggest lesson that you learned from being at the Olympics?
For me, it was I needed to do. It was like taking it back to what I said before. Is like I needed to be a little bit selfish to ensure that I performed for the team. And I think I carried that a little bit going into the Olympics, but then like looking back at it, it's like, okay, I should have done some things a little different to suit me so that I really was like top level for the team. I think that was my biggest thing.
I admire your social responsibility and awareness. You've done loads of fundraiser for charity. At what position in your career did you realise you were in that position to give back to others?
I probably think it's probably within the last year or so. For me, it's more like I've always wanted to give back, and I always want to help others. I always like I have a roof over my head. I can go to the shop and buy food whenever I need. Like I live comfortably. Yeah, it has been easy for me. No, I've had to work hard for what I have, but I'm comfortable in what I have. But it's taken me a long time to realize that, and it's probably only within the past year where I'm like, look, there's so many kids who have been in different situations or have had harder things than what I've had or experienced, and if I can help one person like see light at the end of the tunnel or get them to go and try and achieve that dream they wanted, then I want to do that. Because for me, it's always the bigger picture. Like it's not about me here now doing what I'm doing. No, it's how can I help that next kid or that someone wanting to achieve that dream. I think that's brings more reward to me as an individual than any aspect of what I will achieve. So I'm always looking to try and give back how I can, because why not? Why be selfish and sit here on what I have when I can help others achieve the same?
Wow. For yourself moving forward over the next couple of years as an individually, what do you hope to achieve? What are your goals, if you don't mind sharing some of them on a public domain?
Jesus, good question. I think performance-wise, it's getting back to the level I know I can. There's always after tournaments where you take a bit of a dip, and things like that. And I think ultimately I need to get back to that level again. So I think whether that's coming up for the World Cup this year, I think that's a really important one where I want to try and achieve those levels again, and not looking back at what we did in 2018. It's moving forward for us, and for me definitely. It's not really something where I strive to achieve recognition or anything like that. If something comes my way, of course I'm more than grateful, but I want to be the best that I can be. I'm so competitive that way. I hate losing and I hate not performing, and I think like consistent key performances is more important for me than anything. And I know that's whenever I bring what I need to for the team. So that's when the team achieves success, it's because they're playing well, they're doing their job. I'm also focusing on me and I'm doing my job. So getting consistent in performances, I think, is my main goal.
Okay, and as a goalkeeper, how do you measure success of a performance? What are the parameters that you kind of look at?
It's looking back at a lot of video, and it's not comparing yourself to in the past. It's taking things you've learned and seeing how you can implement them, maybe make them better, maybe take it out, whatever. But it's not going from you have one game where you see if everything is thrown at you to then the next game you're just really rigid and not playing well, and you have like you're just not consistent. So it's like a kind of a roller coaster. You're up one game, down the other. It's trying to get that consistent lower level as high as possible. So you always have the games where you're 100%, you're really, really good, you're class, like literally world class. But then you can go from having that to then going to like a 40%. It's trying to find that balance in the middle and trying to stay there and bring that lower level up as high as you can.
Brilliant. For the team over the next couple of years, I just want to mention as well, Softco, we had a big news there the other week. They've become the main sponsor of both the Irish senior men's and women's team on an equal basis. What's the goal for the team over the next couple of years?
I think Solvco did a massive thing. You don't see that very often not just in sports in Ireland, but sports around the world, where they come in and make it very, very equal between the men's and the women's. So for them, I think it's absolutely credible and really have set the standard for a lot of other Irish companies, businesses, sports to get on board with that and get it equal between the men and the women. I think for us, our goal has to be just getting back to key performances. We always have a dip after the Olympics where there is turnover, you lose players, new kids are coming through. So it's trying to just get everyone on the same page again and look forward to, okay, what's next? What do we want this group to achieve together? Naturally, we're still quite a young team. With some of the oldies retire just after the Olympics, and yeah, credit to them, they've set stones for all of us to follow for many, many years to come. But now we as a group have to take that and do that. So yeah, we have obviously the World Cup this year, which is again huge, like first ever time going back to back for World Cups, which is a huge step again for a very, very young team. And then we have the European qualifiers and then also the Pro League qualifier. So it's in the year itself, it's insanely busy. It's just mad to comprehend like the amount of tournaments. But yeah, it's a great opportunity for us to kind of step forward and give us experience and get the younger ones coming along and gain that experience that we need to kind of take that next step to get back to performances we know we can do. Brilliant.
Out of everything you've achieved, I've asked a number of guests this question. What would be your definition of success?
Jesus. I think being comfortable knowing you've given everything you can to get to where you are. Then you can say 100% I've had success. If you look back at anything, could be anything in your life, whatever, it doesn't have to be sport, and say, maybe I could have did this, maybe I could have did that. I don't think you achieved success. I think you did something very, very well, but maybe it wasn't success in that thing. So I think if you do everything in your power to get to the top level that you as an individual can achieve as part of an individual sport group, whatever, then that's success.
Brilliant. I'm going to move on to the sideline 7. It's the same 7 questions at the end of every episode. Question 1, what is your favourite quote?
Never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game.
Brilliant.
Question Name that
2.
Movie.
Question 2, what's the best sporting event you've been to? And you can pick one as a fan or one as a spectator. Or one as a player and one as a spectator. That didn't make any sense.
Okay. Spectator, 100%. The gold medal men's final with the women's triple jump and the men's high jump in Tokyo. We were allowed into this phenomenal. And as a player, the semi-final in London World Cup.
Brilliant. Question 3, what's been the biggest setback or challenge so far in your career and how did you react to it?
I think for me as an individual, probably tearing my quads. I had a really, really nasty injury just before the Europeans in 2017, around that period. And that was really hard to come back from, really hard.
Okay. Well, kind of on the flip side then, a bit more positive, what's been your biggest achievement in sport or outside of sport?
Being part of history with the Irish group qualifying for the Olympics in Dublin. I think, that's quite okay.
Unbeatable. Yeah. Looking back, what advice would you give your 18-year-old self?
I can't swear, so I would say don't be a little B1 TCH, but don't be selfish. Always look to the bigger picture and know that people are there to help you.
Who would be your dream dinner guest and why? And you can open up the table to a few people if you want.
Right, okay, I'm sitting at my dining table. Who do I have? Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, here's one.
Yeah, she's solid entertainment. Roger Federer.
Yeah.
Why not? Someone who can sing, maybe an entertainer. Graham Norton is actually, he'd be a good
3. There we go.
Give me Beyonce.
This is a great dinner. Oh my God, 4. Yeah. This is brilliant. Can I come?
Sure, we'll pop you in, see if you can come in for a cup of tea after.
And final question before I let you go. If your life was a book, what chapter would this be called?
Hold on. The Start 2.0.
The Start 2.0. Love it. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for coming on. The very best of luck moving forward with everything, and thank you so much again.
Thanks a million, Orla.
A massive thank you to Ayeisha for joining me on the podcast today. As I previously mentioned, I personally took a lot away from this episode, so if you learned anything, be sure to let us know over on social media, and be sure to leave her links in the description box below. If you are enjoying the podcast, I'd really appreciate if you leave a rating and a review over on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, as it does help the show grow. A big thanks to ActiMet for sponsoring this series, and a big thanks to you for listening.